we get to the point. The thing is, guys, I can tell you that I know exactly everything that went down. So let's see if this is with good information or not, okay? This is $3 of information given by Eros. Yamato's left out because his contract ran out after 2 years and a huge failure in 2022. They are promoting Crusher because from previous rumors he helped the LEC team during summer. He was a good prospect in ERL. Wounded in Hilly because of summer and tournament he had. Well, this is not true. Well, this is not true. So they locked Rocks because he had good synergy with topside during play-ins and personality-wise too. This I don't know is true, if it's true or not, because I can tell you this much. It's like Fnatic management wanted me to like... They were pushing me to bench Hilly for whole worlds to make Rux play. So like I obviously fought that, and I said if we make this decision then fire me on the spot because I will not live by this. Locking Rux early meant that Fnatic couldn't get Hansama Mickey nor Exa Kick that chose comfort and wanted to play with DOS. Then Kazi didn't want to risk his career and Fnatic decided to go back to Mad. Therefore Kaiser Kazi are traded. Potential upset deal with Vitality is doomed. Upset is benched and Neon got the ADC spot. They have the choice between Flacket and Reckless and brought back Reckless. Okay, I don't know about this. Disaster happened each games with Disaster and they ended 9th and everyone has been in panic mode since. Wunder and Razak Himmel don't want to play with Rex and Rux anymore. It's an unofficial off-season. It's impossible to have players from ERL or another region. Only possibilities are the Academy. Upset is still contract and free agents. From what I'm aware, we're not remotely holding Upset in jail, just nobody wants to buy. I don't know who the fuck this is. Who the fuck is Owen? First plan is to replace Reckless and Rux by Upset and Advienne. But Upset refuses to play because he doesn't believe in the team. Reckless stuck in the roster. No other replacement. Branding, other financial market, Oscar in the Soroi tryouts. As far as I know, this is not true. I wonder the Rocks didn't want to play in Academy. Crusher overrun by all of this. Mental boomed and quit. I don't know about this. I wonder decided to leave Fnatic. Rocks decided to leave Fnatic, probably retire. Current rosters, nothing locked. Okay, so I don't know what the fuck this is. This is... Who gives a fuck about this, man? This was a waste of time. Now, for my opinions. Looking at the facts. Yeah, as far as I know, there was no tryouts. So, looking at the facts, it's like often when people look at a management from the outside and a change occurs, they're assuming that the management wanted that change to happen. I want to preface this by either way, it is a gross mismanagement that either your player doesn't want to play for you or you're planning not to play him. And that is in the case of two signed players, Wunder and Upset. If you look at it without any information, inside information that I'm privy to, right? There's either they've decided not to play them or they just don't want to play. Both cases is a fucking disaster. Both cases is big mismanagement. Both cases. If they decided to bench Wunder or if Wunder no longer wants to play, mismanagement. Disastrous. If they're deciding to bench Upset or Upset doesn't want to play, both cases. Insane mismanagement. The next layer, right? Between to make changes from winter to spring, you don't have many options. Very little time, okay? Very little time. And all of the ERLs are still in season. You cannot make any drastic changes. You have to make do with what you have. An additional layer to this is that you set up your budget in a way, and your budget is very tight, it doesn't prepare for situations like this. It just doesn't. Your budget does not prepare for situations like this. So expecting big changes between spring and winter, very tough. There is no way spring can be used to be like rising from the ashes and they're gonna win the split. The odds of that is like non-existent. Finally, they got both of these homies, they got caught up in the storm, you know. This is the life of the business, right? It's like the head coach should be replaced. I don't know much about Crusher. I have no resentment towards Crusher. It is what it is. You know, what should I say on this? Anything that I say on this is kind of fucking strange to come from me because I was the previous coach, right? What can I say on this topic? Rux, you know, Rux leveraged his stock value went through the roof, right? After 2 games at the World Championship in the Fnatic management, and he got his shot and he couldn't make it work. And you need to make some changes here, right? And you need to look at what you can do. And I think from outside this makes sense, you know? Feel bad for the guy, you know? He was essential, very important to us at the World Championship last year. And, you know, it's just one of those cases where you go from a player like Hilly and then you put Rux in there. And then the main thing, right, is like the last ERL split that the boys played in Fnatic TQ was not a good one. They had their own disasters. They had their own issues. And they came in now to a Fnatic roster after not being able to solve the problems in ERLs. they were inheriting the issues from the roster from the year before that I was a part of. And in no shape or form would I say that, oh, I can solve every issue and make everyone play good, right? It's like a lot of things I reflect on the previous year, and I know that I could do better, but there's a lot of things that I was proud of, and I walked away knowing that I did absolutely everything I could. And I can stand on my own 2 feet on the ground, always being able to say this. This is what I pride myself upon. And then now they are looking to get Advian in and Oscarinin in. It's like this split is just a rebuild split, right? It's not. It's like it's a very, very disappointing situation, because you have a situation where you have very strong players signed, but they don't want to play, or you're not planning to play them, right? And either way, it's a disaster. And then maybe when you move into summer, maybe there's some opportunities there that you can move on to, right? But it's very hard to predict. It's just that for most of these teams, between winter and spring, you gotta look at some things, and then. It's always, it's like from the information that you have from outside, I think the issue always, right, it's like all of the players that have done so much for Fnatic, they aren't valued. They aren't appreciated, and there's players that come, they put their heart on the line and give everything, and then they leave feeling resentment.
I'm sad. I just look at someone else suffering, and then I'm like, my life is not so bad. I could be Dardo, the general manager of Fnatic, who makes every team finish 10th place. H2K Origin and now Fnatic. Speedrunning to 10th. It's actually impressive though. It's actually impressive how like somebody who like makes 2 works before 10th gets a job in like a high tier organization and makes them also go 10th.
The bottom line is, Fnatic have a great opportunity to finally learn what is very important. Great opportunity for Fnatic to finally learn and figure out what is important. There's just a pattern, right? It's like, I don't need to say it, because each and one of you out there, if you just look at the patterns of the previous years, you can easily establish the pattern, and I don't need to say it. Is there a possibility that you return to Spring as a head coach again? I've set my conditions. I don't think that my conditions can be met. I know my position, and I am already in talks with very interesting projects, and I know my position, and I know my value, and I will demand appropriately to that. Because I can tell you this much, right? I am a person that when I join a team, I stay in that team to believe in this idea that I would stay in that team forever. That I will stay in that team forever. And with that comes, okay? With that comes the fundamental idea that I'm going to care and be passionate about every aspect of performance. And when I speak up about things, and things are occurring in my home, in my house, I need to feel that we are aligned. We have the same values, we have the same principles, and we care about the right things. And that's where my demands come in. I don't think my demands can be met on the short term. I still believe Fnatic can be a very, very strong organization. I still believe that they can learn from this. I still believe that they can bounce back from this. I still believe that there's potential there. But you can no longer wave the magical wand that is the glory of the past, because in the glory of the past there was a lot of people that are no longer involved in the project that have come and they did their best and they have gone. Main thing is, like, everyone's asking, will I come back? Well, I've set my conditions and I doubt that they're going to be achieved, right? I think for spring, Fnatic can't make any drastic changes. For summer, maybe. And then, you know, they need to start everything over again. And once again, I repeat, I believe that Fnatic can be great again. You know, I believe so. Maybe if not now, maybe after 2024, I'll work together again with Fnatic. I know that what I can contribute, and I know the inside out of the situation. I have great relationships with all of the players, and you know, it is what it is. You think they can really attract good players after the Wunder Upset stuff? I think it's just about the trend and the pattern. You can no longer say. It's like in the past when people viewed Fnatic in a light where, oh, I want to go there because I want to win and I want to compete. But that magic is gone. Like all of those players that got attracted to that and coaching staff that got attracted to that, because I was, it's no longer there. No one's going to buy that. No one's going to buy that. So you need to figure out other ways. Last year's roster definitely needed to change. It couldn't stay the same. I can tell you that much. Last year's roster couldn't stay the same. It was not compatible. And we needed to make a change, right? It's like I went through that year. In spring, we started off very late within the practice and off season, and we had a lot of issues. I don't want to pinpoint them. I don't want to start the conversation again. In summer, the accumulation of spring was a big snowball that chased us into summer. So, as a coach, you're always faced with the decision. Do you break your own principles and make compromises you don't believe in for the sake of the next coming weekend? Or do you break everything apart and rebuild anew in hopes for something better? And that was the difficult choice I had to do always, because we were chasing playoffs. And then we are chasing every best of five. Every best of five, we are chasing something. We're just chasing something. We have to perform or we're out. We have to perform or we're out. So that's what it came down to. I was making compromises and letting some things slide just for the sake of the comfortability of the group and some individual players. And then eventually you get to the point where you're at the World Championship and you have a group of players where you're better off, you know, it's just patch everything together. You just patch everything together. And I hate to say it, guys, but I think the Azir Lucian Nami meta, that's all me, baby. I figured that out last year. And now everyone's just following along. I figured that out last year, baby. It's the Fnatic Yamato draft. Why are they picking Lucian Nami in every game? Nice. But I think that's all I can say, guys, while being as diplomatic as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for LEC Winter Week 5 mic check. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm curious what went through Jisoo's mind in a lot of those cases that they had in game. SK as well, back-to-back steals, you know, very good execution on winning positions, but the enemy definitely threw some winning positions right at them, and SK was patient enough not to run it down like they did in week 1 and the first best of 3 that they played. Exekick completely popping off, but he's not even visible on the screen right now. Let's just jump into the mic check.
Once make it far, I will bring my whole family. Nice, dude.
Early.
We're your 9th place last season, so this is already far for you.
Oh, damn.
Dude. Kicked you out of playoffs twice. Leave the game, though. You kicked me out of your masters as well. Actually, yeah. You kicked me out of everything, man. Oh my god, actually.
Oh no. Imagine if Cesar gets kicked from the team. If Cesar gets kicked from the team, we have to blame Marcoon. There's just no other way.
Took my fucking soul, man. EU Masters into LEC, into LEC. You made me stronger. You made me stronger, and now you are my jungler.
Certos needs to protect his neck, dude. That's what Wu-Tang was singing about. Protect your neck. You need to, you know, you need to work on the posture a little bit.
Vitality Ultras. This is Vitality fans. Escape! 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 Escape!
They're fake fans, they're fake fans. They're wearing Fnatic.
Hello, vamos
Oh, shit.
the vamos koi.
It's like Malmo all over again.
So chill.
If Finn wins, Goldberg drinks a shoey out of Finn's shoes.
Finn's shoe.
That's
I did
disgusting,
say
by the way.
something about that when I was out with him last week.
It's just about us. It's about the journey, guys.
That's
Enjoy the
disgusting,
journey.
by the way. You guys know, have you watched Last of Us? You know, there's this mushroom that mutated and suddenly started, you know, mind controlling humans into zombies. You know, I think this is how it started. Like someone drank a liquid out of someone else's shoe.
Nice job.
Nice guys.
Nice space deep back. Kong maybe here. I leave you the kid.
Nice. Wave still good.
Can we dive tap? I think. I have phase rush. I think.
Okay.
I go insta.
You're good, Wonder.
Okay,
You're
I'll
good.
need help on the ASAP.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, just mean recall.
Just drop
BB.
on wave if you need.
Oh.
Does, can you do something stupid for magic?
Does, is there any music on your console?
Yo, DOS didn't perfect this drinking technique. That's how you drink, by the way. If you're on stage, you drink like this. He doesn't know the Yankos. Exactly, it's the Yankos. You have to do the Yankos.
Bro, I just spilled fucking Red Bull on my pants.
Let's go! Really? He did something. Oh! Mike track number 3.
This is Champions Cube, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, champion
You
kill.
need
I
cool.
get a photo and the pulse.
No.
Oh no! Oh no! Bo only mentions his top side. He's like, wow, I get photon and perks. He didn't mention his bot side. Oh no! Wow, I get.
It's not Champions Cube. This is my first.
This is not Champions Q.
There he's going.
Jerry, no flash. Jerry, no flash. Okay.
Jerry have got the ENG.
Yeah, we
I
have
said
to
just catch you. Fire. I have Zoya.
I'm coming.
Jerry.
Cassio. We kill Cassio, maybe?
We win. Sorry.
Jesus. Bro, the words per minute here. Photon and Bo, bro. Like, they need to chill, dude. Bro, my heart rate went up just. Ladies and gentlemen, you all want to know what my predictions are for the first weekend. First and foremost, I want to inform you guys that I am going to be on the LEC broadcast. So I won't be doing the live views because I'll be staying at the hotel. But what you will see on my YouTube channel, as always, I'm going to do the recaps. The recaps from my hotel room in the scuffed quality. I'm going to do the recaps. I am blessed to be on the LEC analyst desk for a couple of weeks. Like last split, I was for 1 week, which was already a fantastic blessing. But I'm going to be there LEC weekends, the 1st, the 3rd, the 6th. I will do the LEC recaps and post them on my YouTube channel with thoughts surrounding the games and the developments, because of course watching 5 best ones can be gruesome sometimes, so you guys are still in the loop about my opinions and thoughts. So that's going to be super exciting. It is of course the usual business. So first and foremost, we are going to do a prediction. This is of course without any information. These predictions could change after 1 day of play. But I think I just want to share my thoughts in regards to the teams, and this is going to be a very nice and cohesive way of doing so. So first and foremost, we have Fnatic versus XL. The changes that are coming in, we have Oscarinin and we have Advien in the team, and then we have XL with the introduction of Limit, and both of the coaching staffs of these teams have been changed. So this is already like a very exciting first match. I think the beauty of the format, of course, is we only get these matchups once in the BO1 system. So every matchup is unique in itself and there's no repetition. And I think that's super cool. The main thing to highlight here is that a lot of these teams are, the teams, especially XL and Fnatic, that dropped out of competition very early, had a lot more time to reassess and to practice. Keep in mind, the teams that were involved in the competition, they were locked to playing on patches that are quite old at this point in time. So we had 13.1. There was, of course, the regular split patch. And then we had 13.1.B, which is 13.2 in theory. Basically, these teams were, of course, specifically on these patches. Of course, I think it's fair to say that the patch changes haven't been super extensive. If you guys are wondering about what new things we see in champion selects on the games that we see 13.4, is we see a lot of Zyra Khan showing up, we see a lot of Aphelios showing up, a lot of the melee supports have gotten better, Caitlyn and Varus have some answers into them. I think, the changes to support items definitely made Ashe a little bit worse, and the answers and the counters, so to speak, to these champions do look stronger. So like Rakan is looking stronger with the changes, Nautilus looks stronger with the changes, Annie looks really fantastic as a flex pick into mid lane. We still see a lot of the Road of Ages champions in mid dominating, which is of course a big deal. You see the Graga still doing well, the Annie mid doing well, and the general progression overall is that we see a lot of less Lucian Nami, and we see a lot more like Aphelios lanes with the Thresh buffs. We see Zyra Khan. Zeri is still doing really well. Zeri in a world where BT is an item and shield bow is an item, and the fact that inherently she steals shields in a meta that is very shield heavy because of all items. Think about Archangel Staff is something that is frequently bought. You have a lot of inherent shielding in champion kits. You have a shield bow shield. You have, of course, the shield from BT. You have overheal. Or a lot of shields in general, and Zeri steals them and gets move speed. And in a world where a lot of the other things get nerfed, like Lucianami, and Lucianami in a world where Varus, Lucianami are champions that are heavily reliant on landing poke before battles start. And poke is something that is generally a lot weaker due to the introduction of BT and the strength of BT. So that's something to pay attention to. I think that is like the biggest change. Another layer of it is Maokai got nerfed, Elise got nerfed, but there's still the core junglers that are still really strong that are being played. It's like these champions getting nerfed just put the champions that were right under them above again. So even though Elise Maokai got nerfed, Wukong, Vi, Lee Sin, Sejuani are the juicers. It's like Sejuani is still looking monster. Somehow Sejuani is just dodging nerfs left and right. You know, she's just tootsie rolling, all over the place and dodging every nerf on the planet like this. Even though she has insane high presence, So a lot of the poke champions are nerfed because of the BT introduction and so forth. And we continue. So I just wanted to highlight some of the past changes, but inherently a lot of the things remain the same. I think between Fnatic and XL, tough to predict, right? But I'm going to lean towards Fnatic on this one. I think that I still have high expectations for Fnatic in terms of humanoid being there. I think Oscarin, even though I think I've talked about the mismanagement of Fnatic, I do think that the changes in terms of, like, I think Oscarin is a player that has potential. I think a player that has potential. I think he can be good, and he's going to maybe bring a fresh take to something, right? I think that Adrien maybe brings a fresh take to things, and I think already the fact that they made some changes can move them in a positive direction. So I don't think Fnatic is going to blow our mind, but I think that they will, at least my impression is that they're going to be a team that has something constructive to work on and something to actually build upon, which is something that they clearly lack. They were in survival mode from day one, and I think that big chunk of practice that they have leading into the tournament competition is super important. SK versus BDS, I think SK is just a stronger team. I think that they've shown more, and I think that the meta is definitely something that is going to be very positive for SK. I think that in terms of what they like to play bot with the Zeri and Varus being worse, I think that's something that is a positive change. I think you remove Caitlyn for SK, and then I think they're going to be in a very comfortable bot lane position here. Of course, Crowny and Labrov can compete with that, and I think Irrelevant is sturdy enough not to completely lose the game on his own against Adam, which is something that we've seen against Adam from other players. I think the key thing as well, I think BDS just don't have enough power in the jungle mid position to really highlight the weakness of SK, because their weakness in that department is bigger than SK's. I say weakness is just in the contrast of everything else. I think Markoon has been the better jungler in comparison to Shio. He's just been more well-rounded. I think BDS, of course, they have their wild card in Adam, and I think that's going to be interesting to see how that develops, right, in this matchup. But I'm leaning towards SK. Team Vitality versus Mad Lions. This is an absolute banger, right? If you look at my LEC tier list, Vitality acquiring an upset, it really shot up in ranks here for me. It's like, this is what I view currently on paper, right? But I think this is something that can quickly change. I feel a lot less confident in the bottom 5 due to how the format works. But upset joining Vitality, I just put them on 3rd position. I think it's important to be aware of the fact that even though Upset was going to improve their bot lane status immensely, I think that Vitality need to address a lot of
Let's go! We live? Hi! In this video, you'll learn how to use Faceit in
I got a new monitor that's very different proportions than what I'm used to, and so my eye-hand coordination is all over the place today. Got the speaker. All right. Kelly, we got Danny. I'll have up to Ty open just to kind of see where we get, and we can go from there. Yeah, I guess just kind of a refresher if anybody hasn't been a part of the last couple of streams. My name's Andrew Silver. I'm going to be taking over the Thursday streams, or sorry, we added Thursday streams now, and I'm going to be doing those. We'll start out with portfolio reviews in the beginning, just kind of as a way to get started, and then over the time that we spend together in the coming weeks and months, we'll probably break out into some kind of demos or classes or things like that when I see that things are consistently popping up, so that we can kind of hit those and maybe find some way of kind of pinning them or getting them visible. Eli, are you passing me this this other portfolio, or
Which one?
just sent over on Discord?
Oh, no.
No, that's not for this. Okay.
That was just for that project.
Cool. All right. All right, let's kick it off. Alessandra, can you give a quick rundown on your goals, what you're looking to do with your portfolio, where you might want to end up, or I guess not end up, but kind of what you're targeting for your next big moves, and anything in particular that you're trying to get better at. Thanks for tagging along too, Eli.
No problem. I learn from this as much as anybody.
I noticed we're seeing a bunch of Hidden Leaf people.
The awesome Gabsu, their senior character artist, brought a bunch of them over as regular viewers, which we very much appreciate.
Nice. All right, hello, what's up? My main goal is to continue as an illustrator and improve on that. I want to go more towards realism, keeping it semi-realistic, but just a bit less stylized. Can't believe I'm the first one. Yeah, you were quick to the draw. Okay, so we want to go with more realistic, or like a bit less stylized. Is this Xena? Nice. Man, Xena's a blast from the past. I used to watch Xena and Hercules almost religiously back when I was a kid. Yeah, I switched my name today. Okay, so we want to go with less stylized. What are there goals for companies or a specific genre, or I guess do you have any parallels in the industry that you can kind of point to that you would say, this is where I want to be taking my art, these are the types of jobs that I want to be getting? it could also just be like I'm looking to take my personal art, you know, in a different direction than maybe what some of the stuff that you've got from Fangs is.
Brutus, how's it pronounced in Portuguese, like phonetically?
This is cool. Alright, wanting to go more towards dark fantasy. For now, it's more for personal art, but you never know. You never do know.
One thing I like to do also with the Stuff Silver is check their likes tab, so you can see who they're pulling from.
I see. That's a good idea. Here we go. This sounds like it seems like it's more what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I see.